new tip could finally break open the case of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells, nearly 4 years to the day since she vanished from her home in the remote hollers of the Beach Creek community on June 15, 2021. According to her mother, Candace Wells, Summer was helping plant flowers outside with her grandma. She asked to go inside to see her brothers, just 30 to 40 yards away. Candace says she saw Summer walk into the house, but Summer went down to the basement and was never seen again. But what's really sparking conversation is a shocking new tip shared by licensed private investigator Jason K. Jensen. Late Saturday night, Jensen posted that an anonymous caller from Rogersville had come forward with vital information, but chose to trust only him. "Thank you, sir, for your trust," Jason wrote. He added that the tip hinted at a daytime burglary turned abduction. In a series of follow-ups, Jason wrote, "I know what you did. Turn your brother in and they'll go easy on you. You can remain anonymous." While cryptic, many believe he's referring to someone close to the case. Commenters were quick to ask, why not go directly to law enforcement? Jason responded, "You don't know everything. I spoke to the person. I know why." A next-door neighbor named Jody Sue reported that on the day 5-year-old Summer Wells vanished, she and her son heard a chilling, high-pitched scream coming from the direction of the Wells property. She described the sound as almost animalistic, unlike anything she had heard before. The timing of the scream has raised haunting questions. Could it have coincided with the moment Summer disappeared? Was it a cry of panic from her mother, Candace, upon realizing her daughter was missing, or something even more disturbing? The mystery surrounding that scream remains one of the many unsettling details in a case that continues to baffle investigators and the community alike. Candace's sister, Rose Marie Bly, vanished in the summer of 2009 in Polk County, Wisconsin, marking the first disappearance in the family. On the evening of August 21st, 2009, the 21-year-old mom of two left her home to meet a cousin at a bar. She called her husband later that night and promised to be back before midnight. Her white Pontiac Grand Am was discovered 5 days later in a semi-truck stop parking lot in Grantsburg, about 30 miles from her home. The car was intact, the keys missing, and there were no immediate signs of foul play. Investigators noted a prior incident of domestic violence in the household, but Rose's husband was cleared, passing a polygraph and being ruled out as a suspect. Despite hundreds of tips and interviews over the years, Rose has never been found, and her disappearance remains unsolved. Even though search teams and cadaver dogs thoroughly scoured the Wells property, no physical trace of Summer has ever been found. How does a 5-year-old child simply vanish without a sound? One of the most baffling aspects of this case is the location itself.
The Wells live right here. This is like 11-acre property. This is Ben Hill Road right here. This is Beach Creek Road, I believe. Main road, main drag. Turn here. This is the cemetery. This is a cemetery right there. Turn here, and then the Wells. And you can see the house there. You can see, at the time, the grandmother, Grandis, they call her, trailer in back of that home there. It seems like the Wells, we're going to go to a property assessor, but it seems like the Wells property is like this area. And there's like a creek. There's like a creek, like a horseshoe. It's on their property. So this is their property.
The Wells home is tucked deep into the hollers of eastern Tennessee, remote, isolated, and far from any roads or towns. It's not the kind of place someone would stumble upon by accident. For a stranger to abduct Summer, they would most likely had to know that house was there. It raises serious doubts about the theory of a random passerby snatching her. This eerie setting brings to mind the missing 411 cases, a chilling series of books written by former police detective David Pilates. In them, Pilates details dozens of unexplained disappearances of children in rural and wilderness areas, many of whom vanished just feet from their parents or guardians, never to be seen again. The parallels are unsettling. No evidence, no witnesses, and no answers. Could Summer's case be another piece of a much larger, more mysterious puzzle? And while we wait to learn more about the tips submitted by Jason Jensen, let's take a closer look at what happened on June 15th, the day Summer Wells vanished.
My son was with them that day. He's the one that's in the TikTok video because everyone's questioning who's this boy that's in the TikTok video.
The voice you're hearing belongs to the mother of Hunter, the 15-year-old boy who was with Candace and Summer at the watering hole on the day she disappeared. Also present was Grandis, Candace's mother, and Summer's grandmother. While the exact details of what happened that remain clouded by conflicting accounts and speculation, One troubling version has gained traction online. According to this account, Hunter and Candace were reportedly sitting in the parking lot charging Hunter's phone. When they looked back towards the watering hole, they noticed Summer was underwater, but Hunter wasn't sure for how long. This uncertainty fueled a rumor that Summer may have drowned and that her death was possibly covered up, with some suggesting she could have suffered from secondary drowning, a rare but real condition where water in the lungs causes breathing problems or death hours later. Adding to the suspicion is a now infamous photograph, the last known image of Summer Wells. She's slumped against a jug of milk in the back seat of Candace's truck. This photo has been scrutinized and dissected endlessly online. Many believe Summer doesn't look right, noting how pale and lifeless she appears, sparking speculation that she may have already been unconscious or worse. Hunter's mother later said that he was never the same after that day, that something in him changed, whether from trauma, guilt, or something he witnessed. It's clear that what happened at the watering hole continues to haunt everyone involved.
The day after he was interrogated, we were interrogated by the TBI. Candace had the balls to show up at my house with her grandmother, with her mother. I'm in the bathroom, so I can't come to my son's rescue unless I take the toilet with me. And I said, Hunter, I'm like, who's here? He's like, Candace. I'm like, go, great, I'm taking a shit.
Yeah.
And by the time I got out here, they were already left. I said, what did she say to you? What did they say to you? Did they threaten you? He goes, no, Mom, it's good. He goes, all they did was ask me what I told the TBI because they said that I could tell them because they're the ones that sent them here. I said, first of all, I don't think they're the ones that sent them here. I said, you're on YouTube in a TikTok video. It was a matter of time before they came and got you because I was going to call them myself.
Right.
And so got on my phone, and plain as day was the emergency child alert on Facebook from Hawkins County Emergency Services. I said, holy shit, she's really missing.
That's when you called me.
I called my mother. I said, check this. I said, Summer's missing.
And I
What
said,
is
no,
going-"
you're bullshit.
I said, yeah, it's on Facebook. So then I hung up the phone with her.
Oh.
I called Candace.
Yeah. And with that.
She didn't answer.
Okay.
So I tried calling her on Facebook. No answer. Tried calling her on Snapchat. She didn't answer. Used my daughter's Snapchat. Didn't answer. Came here. She called us back. No shed of tears, no nothing. I said, what's wrong? She goes, Summer's missing. I go, what do you mean?
Summer's gone.
Summer's gone. I said, what do you mean Summer's gone? Like, I started interrogating her. I said, what do you mean? I just seen you guys at 2:30 when you dropped Hunter off. What happened in between? Well, we came home and we planted flowers on the side of the house, and Mom was in her trailer. Summer wanted a piece of candy, so she went into Mom's trailer. Mom gave her a piece of candy. Summer wanted to go into the house and play with the boys, so I watched her go into the house to play with the boys. I went in the camper to fix Mom's bandage on her knee.
Then she went back
So
to
then
the
she
house.
went back. She goes, I went back over to the house, asked the boys if they seen Summer. They said she was downstairs in the basement playing. I said, did you look in the basement? Yeah, I tore it apart. I said, was the door shut, locked? Was it open? Because that door always stayed shut and locked.
Yeah.
And there used to be a couch in front of it. She goes, she's gone. What do you mean she's gone?
What was she crying?
No.
No.
She didn't shed a tear.
No tears.
Not one tear.
No, she faced me.
She wasn't hysterical. She was just
No.
calm.
She
Did
called
you
me on the
actually
phone,
see
I seen
Summer
her
in the
face. She
car?
wasn't crying.
When they pulled up, yeah. She was
So
in,
you saw her?
She did.
Was she alive?
She was sleeping, but it was hot out that
she
day.
was sleeping.
They had the windows rolled up. It was hot
The
out.
windows were rolled up, and I wanted to give her a hug,
No
and she
air
said I couldn't
conditioning.
give her a hug.
So right there, that's
that
where I
suspicious
said,
to you?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And I
Because,
told
you
the
know,
TBI
you
that.
heard of secondary drowning.
I said, I
right?
always hug that baby. Whenever she
Whether
heard my
she's
name.
sleeping or not.
Oh, she
Yeah.
would wake up.
She would wake up and
loved
crawl
her.
in my arms.
Where you swallow
She'd
so
be out
much
of that
water
car in a
that
heartbeat
later
in my
on, if you
house.
don't get it all
Summer
out.
loved her.
He wasn't talking. Like,
No.
He
I asked him how it was. He said, fine. And then I didn't know anything about the alcohol at that time. His girlfriend's mom picked him up about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And when she came back with him, she goes, I got something to tell you. Hunter's got something to tell you. I'm like, what? He goes, Candace gave me alcohol.
And those puff bars.
That day.
Yes,
Yes.
and puff bars
Puff
at
bars.
the...
Swimming hole?
Yep. I said, what?
What kind of alcohol?
It was Twisted Teas.
The town of Rogersville is home to 4,671 residents, according to a 2020 census. It serves as the county seat of Hawkins County. It appears that no other missing persons from Rogersville have captured widespread attention like the case of Summer Wells. It is definitely the most high-profile local case, involving extensive media coverage, televised specials, and ongoing investigation. There are occasional listings in NamUs and local reports for missing individuals, such as Douglas Richardson in 2002, but none have reached the same level of public or media prominence as Summer's case. However, there is a case that is eerily similar to Summer's. Dennis Martin vanished from the Great Smoky Mountains. He was 6 years old and vanished on June 14, 1969. Eerily similar to Summer, she vanished on June 15 of 2021. Both cases highlight the gaps that form when no physical evidence exists. No footprints, no body, no eyewitnesses. Dennis Martin and Summer Wells share chilling common threads: disappearances of young children, no concrete physical evidence found, enduring public fascination, and countless theories. One of the most haunting parallels between the disappearances of Dennis Martin and Summer Wells is how incredibly close they were to their families when they vanished. In both instances, their parents were nearby, believing their children were safe. According to Summer's parents, she was on their property and went down to the basement and was never seen again. Dennis was just a few yards away from his father and older brother in a clearing at Spence Field in the Great Smoky Mountains. He was playing hide and seek with the other children. His father saw him dart behind a bush to hide, but he never reappeared. Summer had just been outside planting flowers with her mother and grandmother. She asked to go inside to see her brothers, only 30 to 40 yards away. Her mother, Candace, says she watched Summer walk into the house, then go down to the basement, and that was the last time anyone saw her. But Dennis Martin, he was also just a few yards away from his father and older brother. But when he never reappeared, his father immediately ran towards where Dennis was last seen, even calling out, but Dennis was gone, as if the forest swallowed him whole. What makes both cases particularly tragic is that the parents did what most would consider enough. One moment they were there, smiling, playing, talking, and the next, they were gone without a trace. These disappearances challenge our sense of safety. If children can vanish under the watchful eyes of their own families, what does that say about how vulnerable they really are? Just like Dennis Martin, Summer Wells disappeared in the blink of an eye, not from a crowded city or in the middle of the night, but right near the people who loved and watched over her. The kind of vanishing that makes parents everywhere hold their children a little tighter. And now, nearly 4 years later, with the new tip surfacing and fresh hope stirring, we're left asking, could this finally be the break that brings answers? Or has Summer joined the same haunting silence that surrounds Dennis Martin? The parents of Summer Wells have faced intense public scrutiny since the day she disappeared. From shifting stories to awkward interviews, many have questioned their behavior. But at the end of the day, the truth is, we still don't know what really happened out there in the hills of Rogersville. Recently, after years of silence, Summer's father spoke out in an interview with a local news station. He said they remain hopeful and that not a day goes by that they don't miss their little girl. Whatever the circumstances, one thing remains clear. A child is still missing, and a family is still searching for answers. Chronicles of Olivia. Subscribe and be part of this journey as we uncover the trials and tribulations of humankind. Everyone has a story worth sharing. Let's tell it together.